Wouldn't you know it? It's another day of the week, and there's another terrible Lucasfilm employee. Now, I want to point out, I'm getting a little leery of digging up really, really old tweets on people. You know, people's opinions change over time. My opinion has changed over time. And if you had, if 14, 15-year-old me had Twitter, I'd probably have some heinous things up there, certainly. To me, my interest starts and stops at the utter hypocrisy that Lucasfilm and Disney continue to put on display. Of course, we all know about the Gina Carano firing, and we know why she was fired. She was fired because she has conservative-leaning or centrist political opinions. I don't think there's really any denying that. It's not like she came out and supported Trump. We now know she did vote for Trump, and maybe people inside of Lucasfilm knew that. But she was fired because she is a free thinker and doesn't follow the narrative that the rest of Hollywood did. Since then, Star Wars has been getting absolutely crushed on social media. They literally cannot upload to their own YouTube channel without getting a 20-to-1 dislike ratio. So they just stopped. They stopped tweeting out videos because they were getting crushed there. They tried to hide and upload it to Instagram. They got crushed there and deleted it. The Star Wars fandom isn't forgetting it, and I'm really proud of you, because in a world of, innumerable things to be outraged by, people generally make a move quickly. They move on to something else. But people have stayed strong, and there's convictions here, and I think that that's a good thing, because we've seen innumerable other Lucasfilm and Disney employees with vile tweets like that put together a group of people and disparage them. This is what anybody normal would call racism, but it's because they say it about white people that it's okay. I mean, quite frankly, it even feels kind of weird to say that. But it's even more weird that this kind of stuff is accepted. We go back to Christiana Ariel, who is a host or on the High Republic show. This is somebody that says, white people, you got to do this, talking about white people in a disparaging way. They also didn't link some of her other white people tweets where she talks about, she talks about them in a negative light. I don't really know how else to say it. It is hypocritical, of course. This person, she received a ton of hate. Criticism, pushback, I think is reasonable. Sending DMs that are really vile. That's really not very reasonable, I don't think. But, this is somebody who's gone out of her way to, white people. And I don't think that that's okay. But Star Wars, the official Star Wars account, came out to say, hey, we back this person. We don't stand for racism. Well, isn't grouping together an entire race of people and disparaging them bad? Not according to Star Wars. It's actually not if you say that about white people. And it's so sick. You talk about, John Boyega, transparent and honest phone call with Kathleen Kennedy after Star Wars race comments. I think this is a company that is like, fake woke. They made Black Panther wear his helmet in the Star Wars movie poster because Chinese people don't like black folks. I mean, I don't know any other softer way to put that. They shrunk John Boyega in the Star Wars poster. Why? Because they cared more about money than they care about black folks. So, I'm not, look, they're the ones setting the precedent, saying that we're inclusive and we care, but that's not how they act. Now we have another Lucasfilm veteran doing the same kind of crap. Blasts white people. It's sad how racist white people are. I mean, again, are there white people with backwards views? Of course. And that's not okay. But when you just say white people or white people as social justice Twitter likes to refer to them, you're lumping all of them together and you're disparaging them. You know, according to his profile, he's worked for Industrial Light and Magic for 19.5 years. He's been there since October 2001. He's worked on dozens of projects as noticed in IMDb. Most recent, he's the lead artist for the Black Widow film. He has also worked on Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, Rise of the Resistance, Solo, A Star Wars Story, Last Jedi, Thor Ragnarok, Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, everything. His Twitter bio reads, made 2 Star Treks, 2 Impossible Missions, an Avatar, 5 Marvel, 3 Transformers, fought 6 Star Wars, and raised the Resistance. Why do these dudes always look the same? This guy looks like he only consumes soy-based products. And I know that that rip is like, that burn is kind of old now, but why do they always look like this? With a whopping 25,000 followers, you could see, I agree, it's sad how racist white people are. Now, why did I talk about old tweets? Because I see this is from 2018. It's not like forever ago, but again, this isn't the first time and it wouldn't be the last. Vaziri went after white people. In June 2018, he shared an article from The Root titled, White People Are Cowards. In August 2017, he went after Steve Munchin, claiming he legitimizes white supremacy. He wrote, Goofy Dave, when producer of The Squad stands next to the guy who lost money owning casinos while he legitimizes the white supremacy. Yeah, it's these weirdos, boogeymen. You're talking about like 35 weirdos that are about 100 years old now. Nobody in civilized society, nobody in mainstream society supports this crap, but they keep just building the straw man. In October 2018, he made it clear his disdain and hatred wasn't just directed as white people. He went after Republicans as well. He tweeted, there are a whole slew of white Republicans who don't like Trump because he's a crude buffoon. Oh, they still support everything he does, but they can't embrace the man because he threw away the dog whistle and exposes the Republican Party for what's been for a long, long time. I know because I'm related to some of them. Why are these people... I mean, it just goes, you know, this whole tweet meltdown really goes to like, what do you think it would be like to work in this environment as a Republican? I mean, I've got to admit, you'd be living in fear. I mean, make no mistake, you know, Gina has never even openly said that she's quote unquote a Republican. But who talks like this? Weirdos that probably grew up with privilege and never ever had to try and work hard for anything. In May 2020, he would insinuate that Republicans and Donald Trump are synonymous with their favorite white supremes. Okay, you asked for it. Here it is. Here's what I think about the Snyder Cut. We absolutely need to talk about how much more significant extra than just voting and winning probably won't be enough to stop Trump and the Republican supremacy. Okay. Also, he's pro-censorship. See, here's the problem. If there was an actual... there's no way YouTube is going to greenlight this video. If there are actual white supremacists on YouTube, okay? Let's just say actual ones, by common definition, all right? How many do we think there is? 3? The problem is these weirdos define Republicans as that. This guy does. If you voted for Trump, then you're this. You're an awful thing. You're a bad guy from WW2. If these people, like, I would stand shoulder to shoulder with them against these people if they actually existed in any real numbers. And quite honestly, wouldn't you want their opinions out in the open so they could be refuted and mocked, as opposed to driving them underground where they could gain strength and grow? It's like every one of these pro-censorship morons has no idea how bad ideas spread. Like, literally none. Of course, in August 2020, went after that Covington Catholic kid. Thought of a sketch ever since seeing the anti-rally attended by mega-hatted guy speak at the Republican National Convention. Like, what? Of course, he's still employed at Lucasfilm, and he should stay employed at Lucasfilm. I'm not now, nor would I call for anybody's job for their political affiliations. I can't think of a scenario where I would. I mean, maybe one exists, but just imagine what it's like being Gina Carano, and you have this unhinged lunatic who's been working for Lucasfilm for 20 years continue to be employed. You have this other lunatic, Christiana Ariel, who said heinous things about white people. You know, this isn't even the only tweet. There's hundreds of them. No. There's a dozen of them from her. This is the lightest one they picked conveniently. And I'm sorry, but I don't think that talking at a race is very good. I mean, this comes from a collectivist mindset. Essentially, you think all white people are the same, yet you would be outraged if somebody said all black people are the same. I mean, do you see the disconnect there? The idea that you would have to live in fear to work at Disney is unfortunate, but that's what it is. And I'm going to keep exposing hypocrites at Disney and Lucasfilm in hopes that more and more people will decide to cancel their Disney Plus. We'll stop buying the action figures. We'll wait to see the movies in various other creative ways. I'm not saying you can't consume the content. I'm just saying don't pay them for it. I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.